take this away from me and force me, like confront me with the reality of how lonely I actually am. We lost the internet over the weekend. That's my update. We lost the internet, so that was fun. A little sneak preview, I suppose, of what it's going to be like when the British infrastructure does eventually creak and collapse. Little teaser, little taster of things to come. Because the connection just broke. It just broke on Saturday, about Saturday lunchtime, inexplicably, like without warning. I still don't really understand quite what happened, like what caused it to. It just sort of just went. But in the absence of a connection to the global information superhighway, we were very much left propelled back into the Stone Age, pushed back into the techless existence of boredom and wonder. And yes, dear viewer, the severing of modern technology was instant in its impact. Because I don't know if you know how long you've been listening to this, but I've mentioned it a few times before. Like I have a couple of kids, right? I've got a couple of young children in the house, and they've kind of grown up with it. The internet. You know, for them, the internet has just always kind of been there. You know, the internet is just it just is. You know, it's part of the fabric of existence. It's just there. It's like a magical anomaly. They've been conditioned into thinking it's just there. It is omni, and it should always be there for them. And yet it is something that I know through my own lived experience. I know that they are lucky to have it because it wasn't always there for me in my lifetime. You know, it's something that I personally didn't have when I was a kid. You know, and so I feel like that they need to be a bit grateful about this. They need to be a bit understanding. They need to be a little bit less spoiled about it, is what they were being. You know, there's a part of me that's like, you little fuckers are lucky to even have this thing that has always been in your lives that I didn't have when I was your age. You know, it's like a present father. I suppose it's like a present father. Like, you have no idea what it's like to grow up without the thing that you have here, who always is, who just always exists around you. No idea. I mean, I really think, you know, probably what was going on psychologically with me and losing the internet is that I had metaphorized this Wi-Fi into fatherhood to process the trauma of my dad not being there for me. Like, it's starting to make sense now. I understand what I was actually going through. Have I mentioned to you guys that my parents split up when I was 4? No? Sometimes I bring it up. You would never guess it unless I did say it, would you? You would never guess it because I keep my cards close to my chest in that respect. I don't exhibit any emotional problems like, you know, sitting by myself in a shed, screaming into the ether for attention. There's no signs or symptoms of what I've been through, guys. But anyway, between me not being able to edit and upload clips and busying myself and distracting myself, and my son not being able to play his Roblox, and my 4-year-old not being able to watch her cartoons, like everyone in our house has some form of internet addiction. Just like between all of us, each one of us has our own way that we're just irreparably hooked on this fucking thing. Like my son is addicted to games. My daughter's addicted to cartoons. I'm addicted to, you know, YouTube and doing this sort of stuff. My missus appears to be addicted to Googling about family solicitors. Or so, I don't know what that's about. But between all of that, the weekend without Wi-Fi was just a real eye-opener. You know? In terms of how reliant on it we are, how hooked on it we've become. Because there was tantrums, there was, tears, there was stress, there was frustration. And like I was getting all radicalized about it, Like I was saying, how are you going to handle actual economic collapse when you can't even keep it together, when you're just reduced from like regular broadband, you're just reduced to 4G on your phone. Like you still have the internet on your phone and you can't handle it. Like, how are you going to handle it, Ed, when you have to go totally cold turkey? Like I think this is a real thing for people who forged social groups on the internet, particularly parents. Because I'm 44, right? And all I've really done for the last few years since becoming a father is what do I do every day? I get up, I sort the kids' breakfast, I take one of them to school, then I come back, then I take the other one to the nursery, then I come back, then I go to work, and then it's a fairly like isolated existence. But I forged these relationships, these friendships through the podcast, through TikTok, through YouTube, through activism, and so on. But like, then this is my outlet. This is my equivalent, like catching up with people. This is my equivalent of like being with friends. My social mechanism outlet. Like, don't take this away from me and force me, like confront me with the reality of how lonely I actually am. In my real, actual life. Don't expose me to that. I am literally not prepared for it. I don't baptism of fire me back into reality. Expose me to how lonely I still am when the curtain comes down. Like, what the fuck?
Just another